All right, let's get started. Here's the first video. Okay, so I'm looking at a campaign for a company called Big Statues. They make custom life-size statues. They take 3 months to make. They cost $20,000 to $30,000. You're talking like the big Indian statue near the library that was made by these guys at BYU. Okay, so let's take a look at this real quick. So we got $50 in the budget, 10, 10, 20, 20. My first question is the budget properly allocated? So we noticed about impression share. Remember what we said about this? That like our impression share is how much of the total impressions out there for those keywords are actually being seen. So we know that we're super limited by impression share here, right? We could triple the budget and still be good, basically. Let's see what the CPA is. So if we look over here, this cost per acquisition is $131, and this one's $121. So obviously this is proportioned properly. But let's look a little bit farther. So here, this one's at 144, and at 10, well, this one is our best one at $70, and we're at $20 budget. We're not limited by impression share really, because you can see not limited by budget. So that's okay the way that is. But we do have about 13% we can go. So one of the steps we would first take is let's optimize this. Let's make sure that this is really getting. So we have a 2.9%. Almost 3% conversion rate. This is 3 times better than this, okay? So first off, my average CPC is $2. Let's take a look into this. I'm bidding $3 here, so that bid's good. Most of it is here. Let's look at what this looks like. Okay, so notice my quality score is at 5 out of 10, especially on the one that matters, Statue Maker. So what that tells me, since the quality score is so low, that tells me that I am having a problem with either the page, the ads, or I'm having a problem with the click-through rate. So let's go to segments. Actually, let's go to columns, modify columns, quality score. And for quality score, I want to understand what the issue with the quality score is. So I'm going to hit landing page experience, expected CTR, and ad relevance. So those are the 3 things that make up quality score. I'm going to apply here. And let's see what for Statue Maker it looks like. Okay, so here it looks like my ad is below average on relevance. So if I want to make up that 13%, what I need to do is I need to get my ad in line with relevance. So let's go to the ads. Okay, so here's all my 3 ads. Amazing custom statues, amazing custom statues, amazing custom statues. You can imagine we can build, okay? So these look, ironically, pretty much exactly the same. Now, what was the word again? Statue Maker. Okay, so if that's the main word, Statue Maker, we need ads that say Statue Maker. So let's make one. Come in here. Now here's the custom statues final URL page. Display URL is going to be Statue Maker, and then we're going to come over here and say artistic statue maker, and then instead of big statues as a second headline, we're going to say custom statue maker. And then how about for a description, you name it, you imagine it, we can build it. Matt Glenn has 25 years of experience building statues. Okay, so I'm going to change this actually to making statues, because that goes right in line with Statue Maker. So these 2 descriptions, either one of these can work, right? So if I pin it, it'll only be that one. But I'm not going to pin it, I'm just going to let it decide on its own. World's best statue maker, American statue maker. I'm going to say American because we're patriotic, and statues are inherently patriotic. Custom made statues. Okay. And over 15 years. In business, that's amazing as well. No, so we're just going to pin this one, American statue maker. Okay. And now it's going to just run, and that will alone improve our conversion rate. This one's under review. I'm going to look at these three. So this one has the lowest click-through rate. I'm going to pause that. Okay. So I'm just going to run these two and then this one. Now let's go back to these keywords. Now I want to show you guys something right here. So we have three different keywords. They're the exact same keyword because statue and statues doesn't matter, but they're built in, you guys remember what this is? It's broadified mod match modifier, BMM, broad match modifier, exact match, phrase match, okay? Let's look at this. So they all have different estimated top of page bids. So the click-through rate on the exact match is super high for statue maker. And look at this. The cost per click is super low on that. And the cost per click is much higher on statue maker here and even a little bit lower on that. So we know that phrase and exact match are actually doing relatively well. And that might be, well, I was going to say maybe it had more to do with ad relevance, but I guess not. Okay. So maybe we've solved those problems. So the reason we might include all three here is because maybe one of the three has a lower cost per click and we would want to push more traffic to that. So having, for example, this one show up more often because it's an exact match with a higher bid might be a good idea. Okay, one more thing on this campaign. Let's go down to the overview. Come on. I'm just trying to go into campaigns. Come on. I'm like pressing GC, but it's not working. We'll just go up this way. Okay, all campaigns. Okay, so I want to show you something else. Let's go into here. Let's see what's going on with this bronze sculpture thing. Okay, we got two types, sculpture and sculptor. Okay, we got to use a little bit of logic here. Now we're at a $10 budget and we know we're limited by budget. I've already made changes in the CPCs before I got on this thing, but keep in mind that a sculptor is going to have a much better conversion rate than a sculpture. Because if you're looking for an artist, man, that's someone who's making a custom statue. If you're looking for a sculpture, you could just be trying to get as the man thinketh sculpture or a garden gnome for all I know. But let's test that theory. So I'm going to go to all campaigns and I'm going to go to keywords. Okay, I'm going to change this to be, let's just go back a year. Okay, let's go back 2 years. We'll get a lot of data on this. Okay, so that's a ton of data. And instead of all, and yeah, I'm gonna do all, not just all enabled. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the actual search terms. Okay, let's add a filter here. And then we're gonna do a filter for the search term. Now let's test our theory. So our theory was that sculptor is gonna be better than sculpture. So let's try this. So I'm gonna apply, so any term that contains the name sculptor. And we have a total of 6 clicks. That's not a ton. That's weird. Okay. And no conversions. Okay, wait. So total in the account, there's 60,000 clicks. There's got to be more than sculptor. I don't know why that's not coming up. Let's see what sculpture is. I know I have more than sculpt. Oh, look at all these clicks. On here we have total filter terms of 281 clicks with an average conversion rate of $117 on sculpture. So that's a much higher one than the actual overall count. But let's just say like, hey, we're doing a brand new account. We want to find out which one's doing the best. So let's see what our best converting keywords are. Total in the account, 24. I know what's going on. I can fix that in a second. So we have a giraffe and baby life-size statue, two conversions on this, custom 40-foot statue, customize your own statue, Statue maker, that's doing really well with that. Where can I buy a bronze military sculpture? Bronze sculpture, that's got a conversion. So some of these that have conversions here, we'd want to make sure are actually in the account. Okay, that's one thing that we'd want to do. Let's just see if this makes a difference before we go on. Okay, I'm going to do all. That's going to pull all those up. Keywords, search terms. Let's try this one more time. I know there's more terms out there than what we saw. Aha. Aha. Look at this. Okay, for sculptor, so all of these have the word sculptor in them. We had 14 conversions and $44 CPA. So look at these. None of these right now are in the account. Bronze sculptor and sculptors, well, that's going to come up as a close variance. That's not going to matter. Let's make sure, let's see, bronze sculpture, bronze statue sculptor. That might be a good one to add in there. Bronze sculpture. Okay, check this out. So now let's do the same thing. Sculpture. Look at this, 273 conversions, so a ton more. But our cost per conversion is 72% more costly than the other one over the past 2 years. So we know that sculptor is a really great name. Now we have a problem here, okay? Notice how this one's limited by budget and they both are in the same one, these two. So we've got to get these out. We've got to move bronze sculpture to its own campaign and this to its own one, because this one is not getting enough budget. That's going to be the next step for our strategy here. This concludes video 1 on keyword types and optimization.